Hello everyone. Today we are going to build this Onscroll columns level animation using Next.js GSAP and TailwindCSS. Let's get started. I am already in my Next app. Let me first run the local server. Yeah, it's working fine. Now let us clean things. Go to page.js, take out all these default things. Also go to global.css, take out all these default stylings. Instead give margin of 0, padding of 0, box sizing of border box, give a background color of black and text color of white. Now after this, we are going to create a component. So inside the root folder, create a folder called components. Inside this components, we shall create a file called columnsanimation.js. Now we shall import this file inside the page.js. So import columns animation. Yes, now we shall start working inside this component. Now we will start with HTML and CSS. So inside this div, we are going to have two important divs. For the outermost div, give a class name of overflow x hidden, and in the first inner div, give scroll down. And for this, give a class name of absolute, height of 100 view height, width of full, flex, justify center, item center, text of white, and z index of 10. Now inside the second div, we are going to have two nested divs. And for this div, give a class name of grid, place item center, width of 100%, relative, and for the first inner div, give a class name of columns. The columns is going to be your custom class. Width of full, max width of 1200 pixels, relative, padding x of 0, padding y of 20 pixels, grid, place items center, grid, columns of repeat, and give a gap of 2 view width and margin top of 500 pixels. And inside the second nested div, we are going to have a class name of column. It's also going to be our custom class, width of full, relative, grid, gap of 2 view width, and grid columns of 100%. So actually we're going to have 3 columns and each column is going to contain 3 images. So inside this column we're going to have 3 column items. So we shall style the first column item. So give it a class name of column item, margin of 0, relative, and z index of 1. So again inside this div, give another div to wrap our image, and it's going to have a class name of image wrap, and give it a class name of width of full, aspect ratio of 0.6, height of auto, relative, overflow hidden, and rounded off none. And finally inside this div we are going to have our image. So give it a source of So I already have my images inside the public folder, and this image is going to contain a styling of image. Again it's going to be our custom class absolute, top of 0, left of 0, height of full, width of full, BG cover, and give it a background of 50%, 20%, and it's going to have a back face visibility of hidden. Now we shall check. As you can see, we got our first image. So remember, for each column we are going to have 3 images. So take out this column item, so this div which contains the class name as column item, copy it and paste 2 more times below it. Now we shall check. Yeah, as you can see, we got 3 images for the first column. So we are going to have 3 columns. Copy this whole column div and paste it 2 times below. So now we have 3 columns. So column 1 and column 2 and column 3. Now we shall check. Yeah, as you can see, we got all the 3 columns. Now go back. Now we shall change the images. Yeah, we updated all our images. So we are done with HTML and CSS part. Now we can move to JavaScript. So before that, we have to install few dependencies. So install GSAP and Studio Write Linux. It's installed. Let us import those. Import GSAP from GSAP. We are also going to need scroll trigger. Import scroll trigger from GSAP/scroll trigger. And import Linux from StudioFlight Linux. Also, we are going to use useEffect. Import useEffect from React. And don't forget to mention use client. Now we'll start working on the JavaScript. So inside this function, we will first register the scroll trigger. The GSAP.register plugin of scroll trigger. After this, open up a useEffect. So from here, everything is going to be inside this useEffect. So first we will define Linux. So Linux is going to be useful for the smooth scrolling functionality. Then we'll get few DOM elements to animate our images. So const grid equals document.getSelector of columns. Then const columns equals spread operator of grid dot query selector out of column. So it's going to get all the divs which contain the class name column. Now after this, we are going to map each column to its array of items. Define const items equals columns dot map of, going to have column comma position, and here we are going to return column dot query selector all of column item, again dot map of. So for each item we are going to have define element as item, column as position, wrapper as item dot query selector of image wrap. Finally, image to be item dot query selector of image. Now after this, define const merged items equals items dot flat. So what flat is going to do is it's going to concatenate all the arrays inside this item. So after this, we are going to have two important functions. So const smooth scroll and the next function we can call it as scroll animation. So inside this first function, let us update Linux as new Linux of blur 0.15 and give smooth wheel to true. Below it, we are going to update the scroll trigger each time the user scrolls. So give Onscroll scroll trigger dot update. So after this, we shall define another function to run at each animation point. So create a function called scroll function. It's going to get a parameter of time. Inside it, call request animation frame of time, and below it call request animation frame of scroll function. After this function, again call request animation frame and pass in the scroll function. So now we are done with smooth scroll. Now we'll start working on this scroll animation. Inside it, give merge items for each. For each item, so remember item is going to be our column. So for each column, we are going to change properties for our images. So let us define those properties. So we're going to change x% value, scale x value, scale y value, transform origin, and filter value. So these are the properties we are going to change for each columns. So below it, we are going to open up a switch statement, item.column. So for each column, these properties going to vary. So for the first column, we are going to give x% value to -400 and transform origin to 0% and 50%. Then change scale x value to 6, scale y value to 0.3, and filter value to blur of 10 pixels. And at last, give a break. So this is for the first column. So remember, we are going to have 3 columns. So copy it and we will change for the second column. We shall change the values. The x value percent is going to be 0 and transform origin is going to be 50% 50%. Scale x value is going to be 0.7% and scale y value also going to be 0.7%, and this is going to have a blur of 5 pixels. For the third column, we shall have x% value to be 400, transform origin to be 100% and 50%, and scale x value to be 6, scale y value to be 0.3, and it shall remain filter value as blur 10 pixels. Now we will start animating things. So give GSAP dot from to, so pass in item dot wrapper. So we're going to animate the upper element. For from, give properties of on wheel change, give filter for X%. It's going to have the final opacity is going to be 0, and give the scale x of scale x value and scale y of scale y value and filter of filter value. Now for 2, give start at, mention transform origin to be transform origin, and give a scroll trigger it's going to trigger on each element. So give item dot element and give a start position to clamp of top bottom end as clamp of bottom top. Also give scrub to be true, and after the scroll trigger mention X% to be 0, opacity to be 1, scale x of 1, scale y of 1, and mention filter to be blur of 0 pixels. So this is it. Now we shall call the functions. So first call smooth scroll function, then we'll call the scroll animation function. So this is it. Now we should check. Yeah, as you can see, we got this on-scroll animation from each columns. I hope you guys liked this. Thanks for watching and see you in the next one.